Before we get through some of this, because I want to take a moment to look through some of it, I do want to check in with ABC7's Dylan McKim. He was in Northeast El Paso initially outside of the Hondo Pass facility where we saw some of those protesters lined up. He has since changed locations. Now he is located in Segundo Barrio at the Sacred Heart Church, which is where we've seen many migrants spending the nights over the last several weeks, and we can see it as a very active scene once again, Dylan. So what are you hearing, what are you seeing from folks there outside of Sacred Heart Church in Segundo Barrio?
Yeah, Eric, a very active scene. I just want to first lay the scene for you. You see behind me, along this alleyway, along the wall of the Sacred Heart Church, you see some migrants camping out here. Jerry, go ahead, turn to your right here. You can see down Father Ram Street. We have a little bit of some supporters here who are against the border wall, of course, but we also see clearly migrants camping out on the streets. I also want to point out these yellow trash cans. These are environmental services from the city of El Paso, as they started placing these out there when people started raising concerns with city officials about trash being in the streets as migrants were camping out here. And you can open these up and you'll just see it's food that's being passed out to migrants here. Of course, they're putting them into a trash can, so they're not just littering them on the street. I want to go ahead and just show you how many people are actually here. We're going to start walking a little bit down Father Ram. You might get lost here because it's just so many people. It's so congested here. But you can see all along here people camping out, sleeping. They have their Red Cross blankets, all their belongings that they have with them. They're trying to sleep out here. Of course, you see a lot of media out here as we're passing by. Excuse me. Yeah. There is a long line, it looks like, that is trying to get to some tents over here that are serving food. Some people are walking around with your burritos. So, yes, there are people, migrants out here. There's also people out here who are trying to provide help, whether it's clothing, food. Of course, we have talked to protesters today up in the Northeast. Irina Armendariz Jackson, she was saying that she was afraid that President Biden was going to see a desanitized El Paso. Right now, it's not on his itinerary to come downtown to see the conditions downtown here. But we just want to show you what it looks like. We'll keep on going and see how far we can actually get through here. Excuse us, guys. Sorry about that. This wraps all the way around here, guys. Again, this is Father Ram here. That stop sign, that intersection is Oregon and Father Ram. You will start to see there's some food trucks out here. Looks like a vegan food truck. We see Sun Metro out here. People are actually, looks like they're getting, some migrants are lining up to get some food. As you can see, one walking past us right now. But a very active scene here. This is what those protesters really want President Biden to see, to show what the conditions are in downtown El Paso. Of course, this area had a lot of police presence. We've been reporting in the past couple of weeks of police coming here. They've been arresting people for maybe paraphernalia. They had access to marijuana, those types of arrests. We spoke to one woman. We asked her, have people been cleaning this area in preparation for President Biden's visit? One woman did tell us that, yes, she has seen city officials or city employees out here cleaning the area in preparation to President Biden's visit. We asked her if she felt safe, and she actually told us that she wants to stay on this property, the Sacred Heart Church's property. She says once you cross Father Ram, which is on the other side of these food trucks, that she is seeing immigrants being taken in by Border Patrol trucks, put in the truck, and driven away. So she's afraid to actually leave this area. As you see, a lot of migrants have decided to camp out here. We see bags of chips right here that they're enjoying. They're just waiting here right now. And we've talked to other people too, other migrants here. We've only had a chance to talk to a few. One told us that actually the migrants themselves have been cleaning up this area. Of course, this is kind of their living space right now. They want to keep it clean as well. I was over there at near the Greyhound bus. That's near Duranguito. And I've been out there. I even saw a makeshift soccer game happening as I was out there. But you could see migrants actually with brooms, and they were sweeping up trash after they ate and putting them into trash cans. So it was that there are migrants actually taking care of the streets out here as well. But we're also hearing that some city employees are coming out here to also clean up in preparation for President Biden's visit. We're going to stay out here, guys. We're going to talk to some more migrants, but just giving you an idea of how crowded and congested this area is as migrants are living out here. As migrants are coming out here, guys. But of course, you have the food trucks. We see Sun Metro buses here providing some heat for migrants that are maybe cold. It's a nice day out here, thankfully. The sun is out. It's in the 60, 70 degrees. But you can see behind me, too. Jerry, let's just go ahead and show them kind of what the tents look like of people who are providing food here. We see some pretzels and some snacks. We see bottles of water. But this is the kind of help that migrants are receiving if they are staying out here in Sacred Heart. We're going to go ahead and send things back to you guys. We want to still talk to some more migrants out here to get a better understanding of what's been happening in the days leading up to President Biden's visit, and how long these people have been out here, and more about the safety out here for migrants. But for now, right now, reporting live at Sacred Heart, Dylan McKim, ABC7.
Dylan, before we let you go, I know you do want to go speak to some of the migrants and get a little bit of an idea of what their story is. Have you gotten up to this point? I mean, if not, you can ask them, obviously, when you go talk to them. Have you gotten a sense of how many maybe have been processed and have papers versus how many are undocumented and are still awaiting that process? Because that's something we saw playing out outside of Sacred Heart Church. Is a lot of the folks who were there haven't even gotten their papers yet, which is why they couldn't go into the shelters.
Right, that's exactly right, Erica, because when the convention center was still open, of course, they were asking for your papers to get in, and some people were having to stay out here at Sacred Heart because they had not gotten their papers. That's a question, you're right, we need to ask, and we are going to ask that question of how many people out here have their asylum papers, or are still waiting for their asylum papers, or in the process of getting those asylum papers. But definitely a good question, and with so many people out here, a lot of confusion can happen, and some may not even know what papers they need to get into those shelters, so they're not living on the streets out here.
Dylan, also just wondering, have you been able to get any sense from any of them if they are aware that the president is in El Paso today?
There are some aware. Some of them we did make aware that President Biden was here, but it appears that some of them were aware that President Biden was here, and they could see cleanup efforts happening in the days leading up to his visit.
Okay, Dylan, thank you. And yes, you did want to speak with more of them to get a sense of what is happening in downtown El Paso. But thank you for that live update of what's happening in the Segundo Barrio area.